So for us, eyewitness media is content captured by an eyewitness to an event. An eyewitness to an event who wasn't particularly planning to capture something newsworthy, but they have captured something newsworthy and it's deemed publishable by a news organization, or a news organization approaches the eyewitness and asks them if they can use their content in their media news output. This is different, so eyewitness media for us is different from all and any content that's on social media. For instance, a lot of pop stars, music stars, film actors use social media and publish content on social media for their own public relations exercises. For us, this is not eyewitness media. At Eyewitness Media Hub, we very much want to look out for or protect the uploaders of eyewitness media. Because what we see is when an event happens, when a newsworthy event happens, what often happens is journalists descend on the person who captured the content or the person who uploaded the content to social media with requests to use it, with language which is very legal, very, very obscure, that people don't always understand. So our principles, or what we want news organizations to think about, is to approach the public, to approach the witness, the eyewitness to an event, in a way that understands what they may have just seen. So they may have just seen something deeply traumatic. They could be overwhelmed with dozens of requests by news organizations to use their content. They could give permission to use their content to a news organization and not really know what they're giving permission to. So for us, the principles of using eyewitness media for news organizations are really focused around the uploader. So understanding the situation the uploader may be in, understanding the rights of the uploader, and most importantly, explaining exactly to the uploader what's going to happen with their content. Also, when it comes to crediting content, think about if crediting really is appropriate. Most of the time it will be appropriate, but in certain instances, crediting might not be the right thing to do. The person could well be somewhere they shouldn't be, or the person could be somewhere with somebody they shouldn't be. It may have an impact on their professional life if they are credited. So it's about the news organization really understanding why somebody has uploaded content to Twitter, to YouTube, to Facebook, what they were expecting to happen to their content, and then explaining to the uploader, to the eyewitness, what will happen to their content once it's published. Eyewitness media allows us to tell stories we were previously unable to tell. It allows us to see the aftermath of events immediately, not 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, but immediately. And the amount of content that's uploaded can be of different angles of the same event. So the actual quantity of content has increased exponentially in the last 5-10 years. And one of the biggest challenges we've identified is the risk of what is called vicarious trauma on journalists in newsrooms. So previously, 5-10 years ago, we talked about the risk of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, on correspondents in the field. They were treated for trauma because they were on the front line. Now, what we argue is that the front line has grown. The front line is now the war zone, is now Syria, but it's also the newsroom. This is because we can see the aftermath of horrific events in Syria, in Libya, in Central African Republic, as they happen in the newsroom. We strongly counsel news organizations to think about the impact of vicarious trauma on their staff. The problem is, number one, managers often are unaware of this. They're not particularly socially media savvy anyway. And number two, the social media editor's job is often given to very junior people just out of university, because they understand the internet. And those junior staff are often very scared to talk up. They think it might have an impact on their career, that they won't get interesting jobs in the future, and so on and so forth. So we really call on newsroom management to understand that looking at huge quantities of traumatic eyewitness media can lead to vicarious trauma, which is very, very similar to PTSD. And we would really counsel them to take this seriously and to actually introduce personal care plans for social media editors.